Hey guys, today I'll be counting down the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. Let me know what you think in the comments. At number 10, I have Garrett Wilson for the New York Jets. Marred by terrible QB play in his first 2 years, Wilson still managed to squeak out 1,000 yards receiving both times. Coming out of Ohio State in 2022, he was seen as an elite but slightly undersized prospect. But the NFL game is evolving, and guys like Wilson are Exhibit A. Where the defense has to be a lot more cautious when they lay their hands on these receivers or hit them across the middle than they used to, it allows smaller receivers like Garrett Wilson to stay separated from these defenders. It also helps to not have to worry about getting their head taken off by a 250-pound safety across the middle anymore. I think if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy this year, finally, Garrett should see an upwards of 1,300 to 1,400 yards and at least 10 to 12 touchdowns, which would easily land him top 10 on this list and probably even higher next year. Also, Rodgers could get hurt again and this all could fall apart, so we'll just have to see what happens.
First to third down. Wilson firing sideline. Garrett Wilson caught it with his feet in bounds, but it's where the ball is.
Check this out first, whether or not this is a catch. It is, man. I tell you, he didn't bobble that ball at all.
What a catch that is.
Pretty easy to draw a line with when they acquired that guy. First down and goal. Play action. Purdy looking end zone. Lets it rip, and he's got a touchdown to Brandon Aiyuk.
At number 9, I have Brandon Aiyuk for the 49ers. Coming off of a complete breakout year last year, this receiver can really do it all. He has all the size, speed, quickness, and savviness you could ask for in a modern NFL receiver. It doesn't hurt that he has one of the greatest offensive minds of all time as his head coach in Kyle Shanahan. That doesn't take away from what he is, though, and what he is a Swiss Army knife of a receiver. Not to the level of a Deebo Samuel, where he's versatile enough to where you can literally line him up in the backfield, but versatile in that he can run any short, intermediate, or deep route on the field and make it look like that's what he specializes in. There's a lot of talk right now on his contract and getting re-signed to the 49ers, and I think that San Francisco would be dumb to let a receiver like this go.
Brock Purdy kept it alive and then threaded the needle.
Fullback on a corner, Joe, down at the bottom is a mismatch. For the
Gotta love that. Gotta get him the ball, right? Sorry, Daryl. Over the middle, it's Aiyuk. His big day continues. He's got 2 touchdowns.
3rd and 6, Goff. Across St. Brown to the end zone. Detroit.
At number 8, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Lions. The ultimate short to intermediate pass receiver. This guy brings a physicality to his game that I've rarely seen as long as I've been watching ball. Whether it's screens, jet sweeps, it doesn't matter. Just get the ball into this guy's hands and let him go to work. To me, he's sort of like a mixture of players like Deebo Samuel and Kupp. Not as good in some aspects of his game as those guys, but better than others. Not quite the after-the-catch guy that Deebo is, but I think he's a better route runner. And then he's not the blocker, catching traffic guy that Kupp is, but I think he's a little bit more explosive.
Well, guess what? We're in one.
Yeah, you said it. Sure are.
I think bringing back basically the same squad from last year, including offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, will be big in helping Amon-Ra continue his huge success that he's had early in his career, and hopefully the Lions can get over the hump.
What a good play design. Able to pull the left guard, Jonah Jackson. Pull the left
himself with how he played at left tackle. He's in there to block right now, giving Goff time and space. And he's got the completion. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown
as their 2-man punch in the run game.
So DJ Moore in motion, hasn't had a target yet. Fields looking his way, throwing that way. There's target 1 and catch 1, and Moore breaks the tackle. 319. Fields, quick drop throw. Moore in stride, breaks another tackle, and he's inside the 10. And everyone trying to bring him down.
At number 7, I have DJ Moore for the Bears. As a Panthers fan, I've been saying this guy's underrated for 5 or more years, and I felt a little vindicated last year when DJ finally had a breakout year. Even though it was Justin Fields mostly as his quarterback, DJ was able to show what he could do last year to his fullest extent. He's a similar player to Aiyuk, but he has more speed and explosiveness to me. The type of receiver that can catch a screen and go 80 yards for a touchdown, but could also catch a deep post and take it to the house. Coming into the league at just 20 years old, it seems like he's been in the league for a good while at this point, but he still has at least 4 or 5 years of great production in him. Even though they added 2 big-time receivers like Keenan Allen and drafted Romo Dunze, I think the addition of Caleb Williams will push DJ even further than what he did last year, and we could easily see him jump into the top 5 on this list by this time next year.
Starting hot and then kind of having a letdown. We'll see how the game plays out, like you said.
Fields on a slant. Moore's got it for the touchdown. And DJ Moore got a clip there on that catch. But finally, something positive for Chicago.
3rd and 15. Cooper's coming. Fields throws and is caught by DJ Moore. Slips a couple of tackles, spinning his way and very close to a first.
Burrow has time and open. Catch made. First down, Jamar Chase. The first Bengal ever to wear number 1 in an NFL game. Going deep, Jamar Chase. He's got it. Chase to the end zone. That's a Bengal touchdown.
At number 6, I have Jamar Chase for the Bengals. What can you say about this guy? To me, he's a more souped-up version of DJ Moore, who is a more souped-up version of Brandon Aiyuk. All of these guys are 5'11" to 6'1", but super thick and rocked up. Their height helps them cut in and out of their routes quicker, but their weight allows them to not get bullied by any other team's secondary while still keeping their speed. While Jamar doesn't have a head coach or offensive coordinator quite like Kyle Shanahan, he somewhat makes up for it by having one of the best QBs in the league throwing him the ball in Joe Burrow. Joe's been in and out of the lineup injured the past couple years, but when he's healthy, these two have had a connection like no other since they were at the same college at LSU. So far on this list, I still see him, Amon-Ra, and Garrett Wilson still getting better, while DJ Moore and Aiyuk are probably pretty close to their peaks. So take with that what you will.
There in Pittsburgh. Burrow. Chase. First down.
Who knows where we would be if we hadn't turned the ball over so much? Take care of it here.
Burrow floats it. Chase downfield. Got him. Hit him in stride, and that's what the Bengals needed.
Burrow on 2nd down. With time. Can't find anyone. And now he fires downfield to Jamar Chase. He's got it. Wow. And takes it all the way for a Bengals touchdown. 70 yards. Another fake. Minshew has a man wide open. And he's got the completion.
At number 5, I have A.J. Brown for the Eagles. I mean, how bad does this trade the Titans made with the Eagles on draft night from a couple years ago look now? Even if Treylon Burks was an 800 to 900 yard decent receiver, wide receiver 2-ish, it would still look like an awful trade. But with Burks having a lot of injury trouble and hugely disappointing so far in Nashville, it's looking like one of the worst trades we've ever seen. While Jalen Hurts has surprised me, I still think he's somewhat overrated, and I think having receivers like A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith make him look a little better than what he actually is. A.J. is the ultimate throw it up to him if he's one-on-one receiver in the league. Not many receivers ever have had the combination of size and skill that A.J. has. I don't think he's quite as good as either, but players like Julio Jones and Calvin Johnson come to mind, where these are huge muscular freaks, but also have the skills to be a technician running routes and reading defenses. I think A.J., Chase, and DJ are the first 3 receivers on this list that you have to double team, or they'll make your defensive day miserable.
A.J. Brown, the timing worked. 3rd and 8, blitz coming. Hurts rolls away, and it's caught for a first down. Low throw, but a good adjustment from A.J. Brown. Hurts has all day, loaded up, taking a shot, looking for A.J. Brown. He's got it! Touchdown!
Get a feel for what play action does here. Here they go, play action off the first down run, and you end up with a one-on-one on the outside, and that is going
At number 4, I have Davante Adams for the Raiders. Stuck behind another terrible QB situation this year, Davante probably regrets his choice to come to the Raiders to team up with his college teammate Derek Carr 2 years ago. Basically, everything that's followed has been a complete train wreck, especially compared to his career in Green Bay. It goes to show you how special this player is, though, that he can be on this bad of a team and bad of a situation and still land number 4 on this list. Probably the most technically proficient receiver on this list, Davante has mastered the art of getting open. His releases are top-notch. He plays with his own speed on his routes to throw cornerbacks off, and he's really good at contested catch situations. I think if Adams has another year similar to last year on this Raiders team, he will definitely be wanting out by mid-season and possibly work his way into a trade at some point. I just don't believe Minshew will be that much better than what they had last year to make a difference, but we'll have to see.
Gives his best player a one-on-one opportunity as the crossing route came across the field. The free safety came flying up.
I think that was just improv by Davante Adams and Jimmy Garoppolo. Watch, he just sits down, little spin out move to the outside. He sees Garoppolo shuffling to the outside.
Run after contact.
I was at the Marriott smoking black mile in the elevator. Some niggas made fucked up decisions where no man can save them. Everybody know me round my way. I'm a bonafide gangster gunslinger.
That's clinic tape. I mean, CD.
What the fuck I look like being a hater?
At number 3, I have CeeDee Lamb. Basically, the Cowboys' offense last year ran through CeeDee Lamb, and it was one of the best offenses in the league statistically. Their only receiver last year besides Tyreek Hill to average over 100 yards a game. The defense knew where the ball was going and still couldn't stop it. Not to give comparisons to all these players, but I think it helps give an idea to the type of guy he is. He reminds me of a bigger Garrett Wilson at Garrett's ceiling. Just a super smooth and super quick route runner with amazing hands. All he needs is a little bit of separation, and he's coming down with the catch, no doubt about it. I also think Dak Prescott is somewhat underrated, so that helps with CD getting so many yards. It could never happen, but I would love to see something like what would happen last year if Davante Adams and CeeDee Lamb switched situations, and how that would turn out. It could turn out great for CD, but I often think about stuff like that when trying to rank players because situations are so important, especially when it comes to football. Not to knock the guy, though. All in all, he's an amazing receiver and should have another massive year since they didn't really add any other weapons this offseason. Hopefully Dallas can win a playoff game at some point, though.
Over the middle, he's got Jefferson. And finally, these Viking fans can erupt. A 26-yard pickup for... 3rd and 1, Cousins looking to throw. He's got Jefferson at the 30. Jefferson still going inside the 20. Without their starting center.
Coming down to the wire at number 2, I have Justin Jefferson for the Vikings. Even though he was hurt for a good portion of last year, Justin Jefferson still showed why he's one of the best receivers in the game easily. A complete do-it-all receiver, he has the quickness and athleticism of a CeeDee Lamb or Jamar Chase, combined with the technical savviness of a Davante Adams. What you're left with is the defense's worst nightmare, except for number 1 on this list. It doesn't matter if Kirk Cousins, Josh Dobbs, or whoever is tossing this guy the ball, he just gets open and makes plays.
At the 10-yard line. On the inside edge of the numbers.
Coming out of LSU, people thought he was too slow to be an outside receiver and labeled him more as a slot. But ever since week 1 his rookie year, he's proven everybody wrong and has only gotten better since then. Really sucks J.J. McCarthy is out for the year, but I think a guy like Justin Jefferson can even make a quarterback like Sam Darnold look great, and I'm interested to see what they'll cook up this year. Kevin O'Connell proved last year that he's an amazing coach, and I think he's the next in line behind the likes of Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel, etc., to be one of the league's top offensive minds. And I think that will only help Jefferson in the long run.
Play action being chased down. Cousins looking, throwing, caught for the touchdown. Justin Jefferson. The final play of the quarter. Could be a freebie. Cousins to the end zone. It is caught. Jefferson for another.
A few honorable mentions before we get to number 1. Mike Evans for the Bucks. At this point, he's very good, but sort of like a poor man's A.J. Brown. Super physical receiver, but lacks the speed to beat anyone deep anymore. But is still one of the best contested catch receivers in the game. Then you got Deebo Samuel for the 49ers. The actual ultimate Swiss Army knife. He's the most unique receiver in the league in that he can play wide out one play, in the slot next, and then on third down play running back in the backfield. One of my most favorite players to watch in the league. Drake London for the Falcons. A little bit of projection here, but I think if Kirk Cousins can stay healthy this year, he's bound to break out in 2024. Similar to Garrett Wilson, he's been dealing with terrible QB play ever since he's been drafted, but I think getting a solid quarterback in Cousins is going to be massive for him. Jalen Waddle for the Dolphins, one of the fastest, most explosive receivers in the league. Jalen is one fun guy to watch. Being number 2 to Tyreek, I think, has kept him from getting the respect he deserves a bit. Doesn't help his case by getting banged up every other game, though. Still a top flight receiver and would be the number 1 receiver on many NFL teams besides the Dolphins. Last honorable mention, Puka Nacua for the Rams. Puka came out of nowhere last year and took the league by storm as a rookie. Better at getting separation than most pundits thought coming out of college. If the ball ends up in his vicinity, he's coming down with it every single time, and I would say he has one of the best hands in the league. It's only been 1 year, so it's hard to put him in the top 10, but I think if he repeats what he did last year, he'll easily see himself on this list next year. At number 1, I have Tyreek Hill for the Dolphins. Not too much of a surprise, but I'd be lying if I put anybody ahead of him. Olympic track speed on a 5'10", 190-pound body shouldn't work, but somehow it does. Just the most terrifying player in the game right now outside of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, who, if you didn't notice, are both quarterbacks. Also somewhat similar to CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek sees himself in basically the best position he could be in besides playing with Patrick Mahomes again, with Mike McDaniel calling the plays. His run the ball to set up play action combined with scheming people open is a perfect fit for Tyreek to crush secondaries left and right, and I'll be shocked if it doesn't happen again in 2024. So that's it for the list. Let me know what you all think, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a great day.
Tyreek Hill with the grab at the 11. Looking for the end zone, got a man open. It's Tyreek Hill for the touchdown. And for the first time tonight, Miami takes the lead.
What do they really want from their tight ends, and just kind of think about what you see from San Francisco at that tight end spot.
Tagovailoa loads up and wants Tyreek Hill. He's got him. First and goal. They connect again.
First play of the second quarter. Toss it. Tyreek Hill works it along the sideline. He tried to stick the ball out, and he's in for the touchdown. Tyreek Hill
without being aggressive and doing something different.
Thompson looking to the right, flings it. It is caught, and this game is tied as Tyreek is able to haul it in, and who would have believed it? A game that was 17-0 not that long ago.
So far, they've held up pretty good.
Second and 13, they need the 45. And he's got him. There goes Hill. He gets by James. Breaks a tackle with Jackson. Off to the races and ushered out of bounds by Gilman.
Josh
Boyer.
Yep.
So that was a interesting call. And look at what the poor punt. with the best beginning field position, 35 of LA. He's got Hill. That's a touchdown!